Dearest mother, dearest father, this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion. From the time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, we fought the battle of our lives. Fought against despair itself, a veritable maelstrom of it fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness. By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure. Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark. Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades. For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
There you are, Alphino. Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there. At least, that is what the story will be. Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances. From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight, to take our place in the shadows once more.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask. I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super-secret organization requires a super-secret base of operations. To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan. If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
Plotting to build a mercantile empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru, as do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart. Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
This quest never ends, does it? No, it does not. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Who do I even begin with? Let's see. Let's start with Graha. How you doing, buddy? Oh, Marashna, might you have a moment to talk? The Scion stepping away from public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavours I might pursue. After speaking with Kryl, I've decided I will be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Baldessian. Not only am I indebted to Master Geloff for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would have never set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. Yeah, it would have been the 8th Humble Calamity. I would have never met you, never been caretaker of the tower, never become a Scion. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps. Mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise, to embark on a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. Whenever you have time and an inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you into the unknown. Do you recall in the realm of the Omicrons when I asked you if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic? While 'tis true, lad, to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams. In the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. It need be some grand endeavour, there need be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope that you will do the same for me. As long as you don't overexert yourself. I know. I can all but hear Lena and Beckluck's voices each time you remind me. As much as we've already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows, maybe we'll even encounter survivors of the Omicrons somewhere out there. You mean like Omega? After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home, like Omega. And should we ever encounter a wayward traveller awaiting their commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find a new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold fast to dreams, why not Omicrons even? That'd be true. Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you will be the first to know. Awesome. Okay, you two are still here. I still remember the day we sparred together as though it were yesterday. To think how far we've all come since then. Even now, I have not abandoned my dream of besting you in single combat. Of a friendly nature, of course. Though I clearly do not hold the candle to the Warrior of Light at present, I shall continue to train diligently, that one day you might consider me an equal. Far too much blood has been spilt and far too many lives lost. Still, I am glad I was able to do something to repay those who showed me a path to the future. Not that our job is over, of course, far from it. There is much that remains to be done before true and lasting peace can be achieved. To that end, Hora and I mean to set off to Corvos. We expect that the tensions between the Garleans and the Corvosi will only flare more with the Empire's fall. Okay, that sounds like a rather quest area. By the way, have you spoken with Fair Ool of late? Some days ago they appeared to me in a dream, of the sleeping persuasion, that is. All is well in the first, they bade me tell you. When I asked why not tell you themselves, they unleashed giant ravenous beavers upon me. Have you perchance done something to incur their ire? I'm so glad the danger has passed, there was nothing I could do but pray from here, so I was relieved to the point of tears when everyone made it back safely. I imagine we'll have more free time now, so I was thinking I'd study up on healing magic, that I could make myself more useful in the future. My first stop will be the Astrologicum in Ishgard to learn more about Charlayan astrology. I must follow Osher's lead and continue to hone my skill. Alright. We may have accomplished our goal and put it behind us, but my time with the Sirens provided memories that will last me a lifetime. What bliss to think I was blessed with the chance to experience such unbridled brotherly love. Oh, but now that Ocha has decided to set off without his dear brother, without the two of them together, I fear I might suffer withdrawal. Really? Oh my god. You horny, thirsty woman. I'm so glad I was able to be here this moment. You know, I considered continuing to follow in Hori's footsteps, but I've realized it's time I found my own way in life. Otherwise, I'll never be half the man my brother is. First things first, I'm going to head to Gridanian to visit Conjurer's Guild and the Archer's Guild. I will do my very best to brush up on my skills before I see you again. Alright. Ishtola! Oh, this music. Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I am averse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I've been meaning to ask you. Something that has been my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. Yes? During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles. More than can be easily recalled or remembered. And nestled amongst those memories are certain essential facts, the history of the theorists and the ancients, glimpses of the EA, of their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. Yes, you tell everyone about the heat death of the universe. When needed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever have I balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or tablet? Truth is given shape in interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably moulded to fit a narrative, no matter how well intentioned the rendering. An event such as... An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity, yet the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some have deliberately embellished the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are the results of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one upon the other until the end result is unrecognizable from its origin. Which is why I feel that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet even with the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. But what say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? Aye, let them be read and remembered. They may have different meaning to other people, but they'll have the same meaning to you. Very well then, I shall endeavour to pen what I can of the EA and the ancients and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe, it will be less a polished work and more a reordering of scattered notes. I know someone who can help me with that. Oh, you on, Jay? In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to do our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me. Yes, you need to go to your boy Runar. And our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown, or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. It never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different from most. Oh yeah, you're still blind. And you're still using your life energy to see around you. So who knows how long you have left to live. Lise came to visit the other day. She peppered me with questions about the lasting repercussions of the final days. I took the opportunity to explain our plans to disband, and she understood our reasoning immediately. Once a sign, always a sign, it would seem. She was eager to relive old memories and remember old friends, bittersweet memories perhaps, but from the look on her face, the joys outweighed the sorrows. Aww. Right then, let's see, I might as well go for you. Wait, are these your parents? Or... I can't even think of a name. Moonweeder's parents. I can still scarce believe our battle extended to the ends of creation, but seeing the Scion's mission to completion was an honour and a privilege. As for myself, I spent quite a while away from home, so I think I'll return to Limsa for now. No, these aren't her parents. And once I get there, my first order of business will be downing a pint of free at the Drowning Wench. The exploits of you and your companions are truly inspiration to us all. I have never felt more compelled to hone my own skills, that I one day might be able to accomplish such heroic deeds. Ergmus means to visit Limsa. Oh my god, I'm messing up words again. Ergmus means to visit Limsa, and I will join him and continue my search. I know not when we will meet again, but please take care of yourself. Alright, minor NPC. It is a shame the Scions are disbanding, even if only in name. I still fondly recall the days you granted me my uniform. The memory remains vivid, yet it feels like a lifetime ago. I considered returning to the Adder's Nest, but since I've come this far, I decided I ought to continue my journey and venture to Golemald instead. I can't hold a candle to the infamous wandering minstrel, but I thought I might share with the Garleans a tale of your epic deeds, extend to them an olive branch of song, if you will. Oh, that's cute. What do you have to say, on? Go on, Marsha, don't miss the chance to say a word to each of our friends. After all you've been through together, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. I should not have had a pint during the credits. Oh well. The salvation Minfilia dreamed for Eorzea comes closer to reality with every step the Scions take. Yes, the world may still be in the throes of danger, of change, but it is improving. I see it happening day by day, and I sit here, praying that whatever new road you walk will bring you the wonder and joy you deserve. Should you need a rest in between your journeys, do come and join me on the terrace for old time's sake. Alright, Vanquid and Astinian. Oh, champion and saviour, I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you, for that matter. On the mend, I trust. Sure. I got my weapon back somehow. Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way in healing magic, so no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you've recovered. Then again, 'tis hardly the first time you've cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Meteon defeated, her Song of Oblivion cut short, the Source and all her reflections delivered from the final days. Oh yes, the reflections that are still here. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost, but you held fast. Now Reen has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. Well, you could go see her, you know. As for a lesser gift, however, the next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans for Uyonjay as aimless wandering. We've a purpose in our roaming, after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the Scions on the world stage. There'll never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We will do our best to help out where and when we can. Which I suppose is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering, when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell her I am faring well and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of home, there's the Rising Stones which comes to mind. How many times have we set out from the base, fenced to return when our work was done? On a day the Scions came together, I only hoped for Minfilia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Marsh, and I have a question for you, and imagine Minfilia herself is asking. Alright? Are you glad that you joined the Scions? Best decision I've ever made. Aye, I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end, at least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain funny talking fortune teller into the bargain. Alright, the two dads are just having a world tour. In case you've not heard, the Waking Sands will be converted into a warehouse. We'll be keeping the place free of rats and cobwebs, so it can still serve as an outpost should the need arise. Considering Totaru's ambitions, however, I'd not be surprised if she claimed a lot for her budding empire. Oh no. Alright, Esternian. I'll save the twins for last. Alright, sup, fellow Dragoon. I see we're having a stare-off. If you have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you'll earn your keep now. Just wondering how I'll earn my keep now. Right, how you'll earn your keep now. You talk as if the Scion's disillusion was more than mere pretense. There may be fewer calls to action, but we should be compensated as before. Why are you so concerned for me anyway? In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Amric hear about your about our disbandment than he offered me position as guardsman in the Imperium district, as a former Asher Dragoon. I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Who does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment. And have! Wait, what? Some days ago, a Hanish envoy arrived with word from Ritra. The worm requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons, like as not. Uh-oh. In Favnia, like elsewhere, the phenomena caused by the final days abated when you defeated Meteion. Though it was too late for those who had already transformed, life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. Of those who sought refuge in Charlian, most have already returned home, but many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Ritra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Charlian if they wish to work and study. Ritra was always the satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well. One who has the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favourably of dragons of late. Not so long ago I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives, but 'tis clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Ritra's kin sought a release from conflict. So weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. But Midgard-Sorma didn't give up. In hope, he made the journey to distant Ephyros with his clutch of eggs. And though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times where they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lance, I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might have never learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. Oh, come on. Word has it a false deity born in the Tower of Zot has survived and occasionally appears to terrorize the locals. Those who vanquish the being and present proof in radz-at-han will receive a handsome reward, though handsome isn't a word I would use to describe such outlandish garb. But while I'm in Favnia, perhaps, I will acquire a set to send to Amric, in lieu of an answer to his job offer. Let him stand guard, fuss attired, and be the talk of the Imperium, if not all Coerthus. Alright, that sounds like an optional boss. Let's see. Sildor, you were but an amateur adventurer when we first met, but now look at you. But look at you now. You've grown into quite the fine young lass, just as I always knew you would. One might say I ought to settle down in my old age, but seeing you now has set my adventurous spirit ablaze once more. But the first journey I set out will be a long-awaited hot springs tour with my dear friend Tomei. Alright. God, I wish I could go to hot springs. That sounds like it would be bliss. There has been naught but chaos since the Telophoroi first appeared. Towers, lunar primals, the Empire, the final days. Yet we have weathered it all, and lived to see the sun rise on a new day. And now that peace has returned, I can finally resume my travels with my grandfather. Perhaps we will go first to Kugane to relax in the Bokaisen hot springs. That'd be nice. Of course, my journey will not simply be for pleasure. I will collect information on the territories I travel. Perhaps I shall visit Nagia via Doma. Yeah, I've never been there, have I? Alright, 2 free NPCs and 4 scions. Oh boy, the opera music. Marishna, thou hast spoken with our comrades? Well, 4 of them. Although this parting be not for evermore, 'tis none less occasion for sorrow. Akin to a pixie's path, the navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavour indeed. For their part, however, the Loprits embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose as a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for the creatures of Ephirus. First do our lunar visitors convene at the forum, intent upon assigning it some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellite. Yet ere that may come to pass, there is much and more each party must learn from each other, or must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Loprits have gleefully dispersed across our lands in the name of mutual understanding. I can't wait for them to be a beast tribe. Hydaelyn, 'tis said, did imbue them with her love for all beings born of the star. And 'tis Vinar's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in this irrepressible, inexhaustible curiosity of theirs. Having witnessed that which they strove to achieve, I wished most keenly for their long labours to be rewarded. Let their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance and sharing such knowledge as they see fit to impart. You are the first to truly understand them. Dost thou think so? Yes. The Loprits are certainly possessed of a unique outlook, and it have been my pleasure to act as their facilitator upon this star. Mayhap I might serve as a bridge betwixt them and our fellow man, as Moonbreeder once did for me. Aww. But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, to mine incomparable companions. Oft times have mine reticence caused me grief, and mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal. And yet here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for fine acceptance and forgiveness. And long-windedness. Thus instead I do prefer my humble support, be it unto the deepest abyss or the highest heavens, even if I must needs founder cross stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. That's 5 out of 8. I understand that following thy clash of Xenos, the teleportation device thou had discarded, fell to thee from on high. To return to thee in such a manner, I did confer with Wilson and Bloeda, yet they insist the device was possessed of no such capability. 'Twas a miracle befitting the nature of that place, where motion become a tangible reality. Whence then arose this timely wonder? Thine ardent wish, or another's fervent prayer? That's a good question. Let's see, Riol and Vimatia. Feels a little strange now my link pearl's gone quiet. Since my unique skills no longer needed for the safety of the star and all that, I'm going to become an adventurer like you, travelling far and wide. I imagine I'll start by heading to Mericidia or the New World. Take me with you. Just need to find myself a ship first. Oh, we need to go to those places. Arnvald has pressing matters, according to him anyway. A pity he couldn't be here to witness this momentous occasion, though he bids me tell you congratulations. As for me, well, the Scions disbanded. Once the Scions disband, I intend to resume my work in Rolga's Reach. I suppose Arnvald will need support in Gurabanya too, though he would not admit as much. Well, he will have my help, whether he wants it or not. I gotta wonder if he'll be here if I did the job, or the role quest. That's something to check out in New Game Plus. Let's see, Kryl! Oh, Marashna, how are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? I can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you an Ultima Fool. When he came to me in Charlene, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that, if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our cause. And so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. Well, good thing I had about 7 stacks of revives. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out, you did the right thing. It is a relief to hear you say that, thank you. Time and time again, I have been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the forum without my nerves getting the better of me. It always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better. And I shall begin with the restoration of the students of Baldesion. For our work, Charlian will strengthen its ties with other nations that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in the future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika and our other remaining members. Together we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times might you be willing to assist us? Not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel a lure for the task itself. Okay. Marvellous, should something of interest arise, like a new exploration zone like Eureka, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Until that day, I shall endeavour to become a more dependable comrade. Yeah, try to learn a battle class and then help me in a bloody dungeon. As a trust, that would be nice. Oh, I should mention that Erenvel has kindly agreed to share aught of potential interest he hears from his fellow gleaners. In exchange, we will help them to restore the archives to their proper order. With the Exodus abandoned, all items must be returned whence they came, a task no less grueling than their removal. Even now, Ojika assists in the sorting of arcane artifacts, and yes, not only is he a skilled administrator, he's also a certified appraiser specializing in relics from the 5th Astral Era. Despite his qualifications, though, he seems none too keen on the work. I shall have to go and relieve him as soon as I can. Alright, I'll say. Marishna, seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings, one due to find I've forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, in case you hadn't heard, we received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the final days. Such devastation. It appears the situation is gravest in the lands surrounding the Bounty, where the sky first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in the far north, in Garlemald and the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern Empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Charlian too may have come under threat. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but these localized crises should be well within the capacities of each nation to handle on their own. The Scions are no longer needed. Which isn't to say that we won't help out where we can, of course. As individuals, no more of this order business. For my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alphino. They were among the worst affected, and still need all the help they can get. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need of coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make it any easier, though, that I'll curse my weakness, my inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. But no matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you. Think back fondly to one of your many moments of triumph and the accompanying determined expression. Even those that still annoy me in retrospect, like when you activated the teleporter without warning. Hey, that was to save your ass from a bloody black hole. And should you hear about me, I want you to remember too. Remember that I'm out there somewhere trying my very best. I look forward to hearing all about the legendary Alice Levia. Not that I'm trying to become infamous or famous or anything. That being said... the next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved. Who knows, you might have aged a bit. So don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Okay, so that's a time skip. On its way. Come on, let these kids become adults. Did I forget to mention anything? Ah yes, the Hanish envoy who came to see Estinian also bore a letter from Matzia. He writes that Mivan and Kerasaf's little girl is doing well and he often goes to visit her. It won't be easy growing up without her parents, but with her fellow villagers watching over her, I dare to hope that she won't want for warmth as she grows up. Aww. Right, final NPC to talk to. And then maybe I can turn this quest in. This is going to be a four-parter. Oh, Marishna, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. As busy as Father's been tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concerns for the Scions. And besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime henceforth. I will endeavour to write as often as I am able. Aww. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Charlene. Both Alice and I are off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. I can't wait for that to be a future housing place. Though when certainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Ilsebard contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald among them. They will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the tempered across the lands. Lest you understand, we do not seek redemption for failing Licinia and her sister. That is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth of Lord Quintus's words. The truth that, whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces, and though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in a relief effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first, to understand their hearts, and that we might better help them to begin anew. You'd best write me too. Just deliver to a Moogle, you'll find me. Write you letters? Of course, I would be glad to do so. But I would be gladder still were you to come and visit, and I believe I speak for Alice as well. For fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and in bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing and will continue to do so, yet no matter what the future brings, I hope that I can ever look to you, in good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Anytime, Alfie. Anytime. Thank you, Marishna, from the bottom of my heart. I'll finally turn in. I've been recording for about 3 hours here. Come on. I've been keeping Arenveld abreast of the situation in letters, but unfortunately he could not be here today. When it is convenient for both of us, we should pay him a visit. I feel like he's going to be in the bloody Alamigo Royal Quest, and we somehow heal his legs. If that happens, then... well, I'll level up a healer and find out. Spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. Yes. With your permission, then. Your attention, please. At risk of spoiling the mood, the time of departure is upon us. In my capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet, be well. Wind up Herois. Come now, you know who this hero is. Argos! We do get him as a mount! Reaching across time and space, the sound of this horn brings Argos bounding to your side. Endwalker footfalls and flow. Ba-boom. One last cutscene and then we are done with this playthrough. What has it been, 55 episodes? Somewhere around there. Let's see, Dungeon 1 video, Trial the 2nd, Credits the 3rd, this the 4th. Yeah, about 55 videos.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to radz-at-han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me. An ocean of souls, shimmering and eternal. And yet, something stirs. Yes. Steeped in darkness, deep as starless night. The beast hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as she foretold. We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium. Oh, the sights we shall see. The sights we shall see.